Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Greetings. Welcome to 9/11 Podcast. Yeah. Woo. It's a party. Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's all get together. Hey, everybody.
Hey, listeners. I just want to say off the top of the show, take your shirts off right now.
Take your shirts off. We're doing this show topless. We've been trying to get Amy to. She just won't.
Listen, guys.
She's stubborn as shit.
I'm wearing a tank top, if that helps, but I am staring at three naked boys.
We're the naked boys.
Naked shoulders, naked upper chests. That's what I'm looking at.
We play both kinds of music.
You don't know how much further it could go. You just don't.
I mean, I know I'm in the same room as Freddy. He is wearing shorts.
Way to fuck it up for
I know.
Amy.
Well, it's not like I want ladies to be too interested in what I got going on here.
It's not like you want labias?
That is not what I said.
They have their own minds.
Good Lord.
Sounded like you said labia.
Anyway.
So join us, listeners. Take your shirts off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hot out.
That's the stuff.
Unless you're in Australia.
Hey, I wanted to welcome a new patron to the fold. Rohan Whelans.
Take your shirt off.
Hey, what a cool name.
Whip it around.
So we'll get a pen out to you as soon as possible.
God, you son of a bitch.
Thank you for coming to the aid of Gondor.
If you
fun play on your name, hope you don't mind.
It's really good, actually.
Let's
just take a moment to soak that in. We finally released the latest episode of Night of the Comic. I was telling Amy, it was funny because Jason and I recorded one morning and Dave couldn't be there. And Jason and I were both super tired, and it was mostly Jason droning and me just staring into the camera. And we were just like, ugh. So, and then the next morning we recorded with all three of us, and I had to stitch together the two mornings into one episode, and I only ended up using literally 2 minutes of the first day.
Like a Frankenstein of shows?
Yeah. But it turned out okay. It's watchable. I think it's fun.
Freddie made me watch it because he wanted to make sure that it was high quality.
Yeah, I went through it because I was worried. I was like, do we say anything really
why does Freddie's shirt change?
Or whatever.
Are we getting to this? But here's, listeners.
Continuity errors.
Yeah.
There was high quality comic book talk, and the only reason I know that is because I don't know anything about comic books and I was bored. So that means it's high quality. Plus, they were silly, and Freddie's rocking some curly bangs in this episode. His hair, he hasn't had a haircut since January, folks.
Oh, like Superman?
Curly bang.
It's I love it. I think it's great. So listeners, enjoy Freddie's bangs in the episode. Bangs. He's got some she-bangs.
I do have shebangs.
So what y'all talk about?
In that episode, what's funny is I just edited that
thing.
You don't remember? I know that there's a lot of talk.
Dark Horse and Marvel.
Yeah, we talked a lot about Dark Horse losing a whole lot of licenses that they've had for years and years and years.
What?
Like Predator and Alien and a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, didn't Marvel pick up Alien and Predator?
Yeah, they have Predator for sure because their announcement was, and in the video, if you watch Night of the Comic, the most recent one you can either watch that on our Patreon page or on YouTube. We're NOTLP crew at YouTube or patreon.com/NOTLP. But there's a really cool kind of image they released to announce it. And then there's also just a bunch of stupid shenanigans, which, I just kind of like to sit back and listen to Dave and Jason. I think that they are endlessly entertaining.
It's true.
The two of them. So I like to kind of just go along for the ride, and I think you should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Freddy's bangs.
My bangs.
He bangs.
I do.
Anyway.
This guy fucks. Remember we were watching the BuzzFeed Unsolved, and one of them made a great joke. They were talking about Guy Fawkes. And they're like, this Guy Fawkes.
Anyway.
That's fun.
Isn't it?
That's a fun play.
Right?
Play on words.
That's a fun show.
Fun.
It's like it's innocent, but not.
It's historical, but not.
It's a thinker too. Like, who's Guy Fawkes?
Yeah,
Right.
Thinker Thunker.
This Guy Fawkes. This is. Amy and I are on Discovery now, too. We have burned through all of the pre-21st century.
We are watching a Star Trek series that was made in the current decade we are in.
You better slow down.
Or no. Well, yeah. No, are we in a new decade yet? Or
What?
is 2021 the official start of the next decade? Oh, God.
You made my stomach upset with that.
Anyway, we're
comment.
watching Discovery.
Well, they're still making Discovery too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
So-
2 seasons that so far that you can get your grubby little hands all over.
I have a question. I don't know. Do Klingons have 2 penises?
They've insinuated on Discovery that Klingons have 2 penises. You get to see Klingon titties in it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
What do they look like? Are they all like rough?
Yeah.
Well, you don't get to see them that close.
I mean, you see an overhead shot
All right.
of her straddling a dude. They're doing it.
That
there's
sounds
Klingon
like a
titties.
different kind of Star Trek.
Yeah.
It is. They drop the F-bomb at one point.
Yeah.
But they wait. It's like the second or third episode.
It just really, I was brushing my teeth and I just stopped.
And they hadn't swore or anything up to this point. Like, it felt like just a regular Star Trek. And then all of a sudden she's like, that's fucking awesome. And I'm like, whoa. And Amy's like, whoa. And somebody else is like, that is fucking awesome. And I'm like, Starfleet soap in your mouth now. Dirty birdies.
They say
Well,
shit.
I'm just glad the F word still exists in the future.
Yeah.
It means something completely different, though.
People are still saying fucking.
Are you liking it so far?
Yeah.
I think it's great. I was worried that I wasn't.
It's a very different feel.
Right. I didn't think I was going to like it because I just happened to be on IMDb just to check something, and I stumbled across the reviews on there, and they're almost all like 1 star.
Oh.
But I realized that it's like a contingent of like hardcore fans that don't like what they call, like, I guess, the liberal agenda of the show, even though it's the same liberal agenda that Star Trek has always had.
Right. I don't know how much more liberal it could have get.
Right.
I think there's just far too many minorities on
It's like, the majority of the casts are minorities, or the most important characters are female or minority.
They wish they'd get back to the old Star Trek, like when everybody was white.
Yeah.
when Kirk was out there banging
Except for Uhura.
yeah. Anyway,
Even then, though, I mean, it was still about, for the time.
still was the most liberal thing on television. It was
Yeah.
Martin Luther King's favorite show.
Yeah.
Get out of here with your nonsense. Get your shit out.
Whose
of here.
favorite show?
Martin Luther King. Him and his family watched it together.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
You know who else is a fan of Star Trek? Rihanna.
Yeah.
So you know what? Back off. It's cool.
Our friend John just had a birthday. John Wagner has been on the show a few times, and
Happy birthday, John.
such a sweetheart of a man. We were texting about Discovery yesterday because it was his birthday, and then we ended up in Discovery because we always end up on
He's a
Star
big
Trek.
Star Trek fan.
Yeah, and like I didn't know. Thanks to him, he told me about the short treks, which are these little pieces that I wouldn't have even known about had he not told me about them. But like, you have to go to CBS's app or website to actually watch them, and they are really well made. They're not, a lot of times like a web series, the filler that they put out is just kind of crap. It's just they're like, oh, it's enough that we have something out there. It's basically a commercial for the show, but they really made like little short films that feel like totally legit, and they all have kind of a different feel to them. Each one's a little different, and and one of them, Calypso, it was just like a work of art. It was awesome, and it had what's his name again, Amy, in it? What is his name?
Aldous Hodge.
Aldous Hodge. I don't know why I cannot seem to remember Aldous Hodge's name.
You want to get Aldous Hodge?
Aldous.
I kept looking at Amy and I'm like, what's his name again?
Well, there were lots of reasons why you weren't sure.
That's true. Anyways, yeah, it's so good, and happy birthday to John. And John has a really exciting new job, but I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm not going to say anything other than have fun in the Dominican Republic. Be
He
safe.
works for
Be
the
safe.
government.
I'll tell you after the show.
How did
It's
he
top
get
secret.
there? How do you get into a country that won't allow Americans in?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know either.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't work for the government.
Does the Dominican Republic not allow?
Most places aren't letting us in. I'll look it up.
Maybe because he's going there for work. It's
Maybe.
different.
Anyway,
But I'm excited to tell you
Anywho.
guys.
what else is going on, gang?
I did more yard work.
Oh my God.
You did what? Now what else? What are we doing? What are we doing yard wise?
Trimmed up the bush.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really see everything now?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Kelley, did I tell you about the weed snatcher I bought?
Is that for the driveway?
Yeah, it's for digging stuff out of cracks.
See, I've been thinking about one of these for the last several days. Like, whenever I go sit out on my porch, I'm looking at my seams in the driveway.
Yeah,
full
dirty
of
crack.
Weeds and my dirty cracks. They're just full.
Yeah. It looks
grit.
like a murder weapon. It's
Yeah.
like a wood
fireman's
handle.
hook, right?
What?
It kind of looks like a fireman's hook.
Kinda.
Like a
Yeah.
hook.
Well, there's two different ones. There's the weed thing. I have one that you twist weeds out by the roots, and this one is like
Great. I love this conversation.
it looks like it's like a scythe, like a hand,
Yeah.
almost like a handheld scythe thing, and it has like a
Kelly,
you know.
Kelly would love that. He loves size.
I could put that to
Yeah.
many uses. I'm genuinely interested in this though because
Yeah.
this is my next project. It's clearing out these driveway weeds.
Kelley, can I say that like I never would have pegged you as a yard work guy?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like I also have become. I think it comes to all of us with age, maybe.
Well, I'm lazy and I don't like do it, but like I like a nice looking yard.
Yeah, and doesn't you get like a little bit of pride out of it?
Yeah.
It's all the things that when I was a kid, I asked my dad. I was like, "Can we just pave the yard? Can we just pave it? I don't want to deal with it."
I'm still interested in that idea.
And I was like, "I'll put a basketball court out here, and I'll have nothing to mow or take care of ever again, and I'll just play basketball."
Because you love playing basketball so much.
I did back then. I loved
I did
basketball, and now I get it. I don't feel like moving. I don't want to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I want to play horse.
Yeah, horse is easy.
Horse is fun. I don't want to play one-on-one or anything like that. I just
Thanks for
rather
the link, by the way.
You're welcome. And I sent Kelley the link to the weed snatcher. And I would like the idea of making a lawn that I could roll around on and not worry about like anything.
Yeah.
I just want
get
to roll
that.
around on my grass.
I think you should share the weed snatcher with all our listeners. You should put that on Twitter
Yeah.
and all our
I'm a weed
and all of
snatcher.
our social medias.
See who's into weed snatching?
This I would. You know what would be interesting. Since we started doing this show remotely because of the pandemic and quarantining and staying home and being socially distant and all that stuff, I should go back to listen to the show that when we started this all and to now and just watch us run out of things that are cool.
You mean there'd like be a big basket of cool stuff and then someone like punches a hole in the
Yeah,
bottom of
it's
it
gone.
somewhere around year 2.
So weed snatcher.
And then we just drag that basket.
Well, you know,
along.
it's funny, like, content. So when we started this pandemic, everybody was watching Tiger King and everybody was talking about it, and it was the hip
Spring
and the
was
cool.
on its way.
The Last Dance. Everybody
Yeah.
was talking about it, and I feel like we don't have any of that anymore. Are we running out of things because no new stuff's hitting the internet?
Well, it's definitely hit our news content
Yeah.
pretty hard. There is not much to talk about today once I hit the news section.
Right.
Kelley,
Well, I feel like we.
go ahead, Andy. I'm
Go
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say to Kelley, I think his shock mount has come unmoored. You know, the little
some of
rubber
it.
bands?
I basically have to reseat this every single time.
Really?
Because I move. Well, because I move the
You move
stand
a lot.
around.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
This is cool content.
I'm just worried it's going to thwap you in the face or something.
Oh no, it's okay.
All
It's
right.
not moving around that much.
I don't want you to
It's
get
just-
bruised.
It won't be his first time.
Yeah,
It's,
thwap
no,
you in
it
the
will
face.
not
in the
be my
face.
first time. I've had
Yeah.
things this close to my mouth many times, and I'll just have to reseat the bands afterwards again.
Listen to the band.
So you were saying, Andy?
to the band.
The band.
No, I feel like we've always talked about the same things.
You
even
might be
before the
right.
Pandemic.
You might be
'Cause
right.
We've talked about Star Trek for the last year or
It's
so
my
since
life.
you started watching. Yeah,
It's my life. But no, I think we would be like, oh, we went and saw such and such at the theater, and and when I was at the theater, I saw this weird guy, and he did a weird thing.
yeah.
And then
now
I was
it's like I went
Yeah.
to the theater and caught COVID.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's our
get
new-
it.
That's our new stories now.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot to do. I'm going to talk about weeding and making yard, making dinner, making yard.
Making yard dinner.
I'm going to make
Making
yard,
yard dinner.
next week, and you guys can play along, see how to make yard. Thank you to Paul for teaching me about pizza screens.
Oh my God.
I got my pizza screen, but I haven't used it yet.
So
I threw up a little in my mouth just now.
every Thursday
Sorry.
we've been hanging out with the patrons. If you're a patron, you get access to our Thursday Zoom meetup, and we've been watching Tales from the Crypt.
And we just got
Together.
to my favorite episode,
Yeah.
Fitting Punishment, where the nephew goes to live with his miserly uncle who runs a funeral home and cuts
Oh,
corners.
this is based. This is like an homage to Lovecraft's The Vault.
Yes, exactly. It's my favorite episode of the series.
That's a great episode.
Next to the one that we were just talking about with Morton Downey Jr., where Amy and Andy both insisted it was a radio show that he hosted.
It still is. It's a radio
It's
show.
a TV show. In fact, the episode's called Television Terror.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you.
And I was
used-
right and you were wrong.
Go snatch some weeds, bitch.
I used to think that Morton Downey Jr. and Robert Downey Jr. were related.
Why aren't they?
The Downeys Jr. If they're
Jr. I mean, when I was a little kid, don't get me. This wasn't like
I looked
2
it up
years
today.
ago. Like,
Yeah.
Did
And
you
then
really?
Roma Downey came along.
Why
Why
would they
wouldn't
be
they be
related?
related?
she
Why
threw
would
a-
they be?
It could
She
be
threw a
cousins.
kink into the whole thing.
It could be.
Roma Downey Jr.
Roma Downey Jr. So
Roma Downey Jr.
the Downey Bear Jr.
Downey Soft.
He's got a filthy mouth.
Big family. They're like the Baldwins.
I used to love the Morton Downey Jr. show. It was so 80s. Everything about it was the grimiest parts of the 80s. Like, it was just like,
He would smoke on air. That's disgusting.
yeah, he would smoke constantly on air, but also like he just was a gross, grimy kind of person.
Okay. Remind me, what kind of was it? Kind of like a Jerry Springer type show?
Yeah.
All I remember is people coming up to the mic and screaming.
Yeah, that's basically it. And a lot of times it was him.
I just remember the opening with the big mouth.
Yeah.
It was his
Yeah.
mouth. And he was always
Yeah.
just like, "Rah."
If you can find old episodes of the Morton Downey Jr. show, you do yourself a favor
Do it.
and do it. If you can do it, do it.
Rest in peace, Mr. Downey Jr. But I mean, Phil Donahue remains
Yeah.
the best at that genre.
Is he still doing anything?
Phil Donahue? No. I
He's
think
filling.
he's super old.
Is he moldering bones? He's just moldering bones now.
He's still alive, right?
You're watching the Moldering Bones Hour with Phil Donahue.
Leave him alone.
I can't ever answer that question because I always think everyone is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And then
it's a
they're
good
not.
default position.
He's
I'm trying to remember
in his
who
80s.
I thought of this morning. I was like,
Was
I
it
thought she
Regis?
was dead, but she's
No.
not.
I thought I was going to say Regis Philbin. I thought he died long ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it's because he's been kind of low key for the last couple of years. I just assumed he
Yeah.
packed up and left 2 years ago.
Old celebrities are like cats. They wander away to die. Yeah.
That's
They
true.
know. They know.
And then Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too.
Somebody else.
Carl Reiner recently
Yeah,
died.
Carl Reiner.
Oh, yeah, Carl Reiner. But somebody else just this week. Another musician, I think.
Oh.
But I can't think off at the top of my
Oh,
head.
Charlie Daniels.
No, that was a while
Yeah,
ago.
well, Charlie Daniels too, but that's not who I'm thinking of.
Oh, you're thinking of Toots McGee, who played
Toots McGee.
Piani. He was famous
That's
for playing
right.
Piani.
That's right. It's Toots.
It was Toots. What?
Toads Toots.
What's going on? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, you guys want to move into the scant news that I have?
I
You wanna
guess
thank the
so.
patrons?
Scantiest.
I mean, I could just sit here and talk to you guys all day.
About weed snatching?
Weed snatch.
I will say I get my kids pick on me sometimes because I will often say when we drive, I really like a nicely manicured lawn.
I do too.
I love a yard that looks. I'm not one of those people. I can hear people saying, "Oh, you're one of those old guys."
Oh.
Not, but I do like the way a nice yard looks. I just do.
Kelley, I agree with you. I like the look of a yard, but
The work.
but the work that you have to put into a nice yard, for me, it's not worth it.
I got a weed problem right now in the front yard, and I know I need to deal with it, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
For me, I do it because I have to, not because I want to.
Well, now, and to understand, I put off doing that yard work way longer than like my weeds were like, I had to get out the hedge trimmer to take them down because they were like little trees.
I'll tell you.
I have some like that right now.
Big Lawn has got you guys wrapped up in its
I mean, if I were a wealthy person, I would just hire
here.
somebody to keep it all for me. It's not like I love doing yard work. But
we live on like a quarter of an acre.
We live on I don't know, and I don't know acres.
Hire
I don't know animals.
1/2 of an acre.
I will tell you this though, I just want to be able to roll around the grass.
All he wants, guys.
That's really what it boils down to.
You got to grow that soft grass.
I want soft, thick, luxurious grass.
It has to have that grass smell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to roll over a dry spot or shit.
You smell that? That's grass.
Shit is part of nature. It's good for your grass.
Not all shit. Dog shit's not good for your grass.
It isn't?
No.
Oh.
Neither is people shit.
I thought all shit was good.
No,
I thought
it'll
all
kill your grass. It kills your grass.
Okay.
Your grass is dead.
Are you listening,
I just wanted you to
listener?
know that.
How many of you were like, "Oh, I didn't know that with my Patreon dollars."
You
I
knew.
I would get lawn care
Think about all
advice.
these people who were going out into their yards and shitting on them, thinking they were helping, and we just helped them.
You
They're
knew
like,
there was
"I
turds in the
shit
yard."
on my yard twice a week,
And you let
And
people
it
roll
keeps
around in it
dying.
anyway. And my son is dead now.
All right, Mrs. Kidner.
I just love that visual, Kelley, of you just, getting up in the morning, crack a dawn, pulling down your pants in the grass, and
I try to
yelling at
spread
your
it around.
Has anybody here ever shit outdoors
Oh,
onto
yeah.
the ground?
Yes.
I never have.
Are you sure?
I don't
Not on
think.
purpose.
You've never shot do you never
I
went
shot
on
in the ocean.
You've never been on a hike
As a
so
child.
long that you had to shit outside and wipe with leaves?
You understand how in control of my butthole I am? Like, even if I really have to go, I don't go in public.
Yeah. Wiping with leaves is about the worst thing ever.
I haven't ever done that. I've never been anywhere outside where I've been outside so long that I didn't have access to a bathroom.
Yeah.
We used to go deep into the woods when I was a kid. So deep. We'd get lost in there, and invariably I'd get a nervous tummy, and I'd have to be like Piggy in Lord of the Flies and be like, "Dem fruit." You know what I mean?
Like, Andy, for sure you have, because of just how often you need to go.
no, I've shat in my car before.
Okay.
He did. I was there.
Many times, not many, but
Enough.
multiple times. Enough to know that I have stuff in my car just in case I have to shit again.
He's got a go
Does that
bag.
include toilet paper?
He's got an enjoy the go bag in his car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just have extra plastic bags. I have extra wipes in the glove compartment.
Sure.
Okay.
And just a tip. Target bags are the best to shit in because they are
They're nice
bigger.
and thick. Yeah. They've got a heft to them that a Kroger bag does not have.
Maybe it's time to just invest in diapers, Andy.
No, grocery store bags are not as big as the plastic Target bags. So the width of the bag is a lot bigger, so it can accommodate your big ass better than
You can basically
Kroger
climb
bags.
right down into it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I love
It's like
you guys.
Alice in Wonderland. You go through the hole and like all of a sudden
You got
Yeah,
curiouser and
everything's going through
curiouser.
holes.
Oh, wow. See, good. This is, I think, the more necessary content that you're here for.
yeah, we end the banter on shit always.
Always.
Yeah.
As usual.
So I guess that means it's time for news.
Oh.
Now we're done with all that poo poo.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
One of your systems in the world. The people it kills get up and kill.
Remember, human beings are their food.
I remember.
You remember
when there used to be at least 3 or 4 news stories that were doable.
More, man.
I'll try to fill in any gaps for you, Kelley. I have a couple of things, but you probably already have them.
Oh.
No, I bet I don't. Well, just because, again, my news story, I always go to the same one. And it's mostly like, check out this trailer.
Yeah.
Or we're talking about this old movie. And so there's just not much going on. But I'm going to tell you, we touched on this. John Saxon, R.I.P., man.
Yep.
He died.
Great character actor.
Yeah, he was in so many things.
Enter the Dragon. He was in Enter the Dragon. He was He was in Black Christmas, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
He was in Johnny Saxon plays the Johnny saxophone. He was in My Mom's Erotic Dreams. She loved him.
Yeah. So R.I.P. John Saxon. He looked like if you put a mustache on him in Enter the Dragon, he almost looked like Burt Reynolds.
Somewhat. I always thought
mustache on him.
He was more severe looking. Like, I feel like John Saxon would have made a great Vulcan.
Yeah,
he's got a Vulcan look.
He's more Andorian.
Great Vulcan. In this picture from whatever movie this is, he also kind of looks like Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, can you show me the picture?
Hey, listen.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, he also looks kind of like a drawing.
Turns out he was a drawing the whole time.
He looks like a drawing.
So anyway, that's one piece of news.
Sure shit is.
You ready for the other piece?
Oh yes.
Y'all ready for this?
And this is barely interesting to anyone. Sci-Fi is releasing a documentary about Todd McFarlane. This is interesting to me because I love Todd McFarlane.
I actually have a screener of that, Kelley.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. We were going to talk about it on Night of the Comic, but if you want to join us, I will make it happen.
Now that might be Night of the Comic. I definitely might be interested in being on because I do.
That's a lot of maybes and mights.
Gonna need to wear a sleeveless shirt and have bangs.
Yeah.
You know, it's called Like Hell, and I guess it's all about Todd McFarlane. I was a big, that when I started collecting Spider-Man comics in the late 80s as a kid, shortly before he started on issue 300 of The Amazing Spider-Man, like that was like prime time for me.
Yeah.
So when he came along and changed the look of Spider-Man, like I was 100% on board. He's really kind of the artist that really inspired me to want to do comic book art, especially at the time. And then later I got real into Spawn too. I love McFarlane toys. I know that his personality, I guess, could be considered annoying. I guess I don't really know anything about him much other than he's rich.
Oh, is he? Is he an asshole?
Well, I mean, he seems like there's a lot of complicated stories.
Well, he's very I do what I want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think he also thinks that he is the best person to represent his characters and works in other media. Like, he wants to direct the Spawn movie, I think. And that's a bad idea.
He reminds me of, like, he has CEO vibes.
Yes, he does.
If that makes sense. Like he has that type A personality that you don't see too often in, like, artists.
No, agreed.
So it could be kind of off-putting, I think, especially that he had this crew with him when he left the big imprints and they started Image and all that. Like, he became like the Steve Jobs of that kind of, right. I guess. So to make things work, it seems like he was kind of a tough dude, but he was also the most fair to his artists because I think he understood that perspective. He wasn't just a businessman. But interesting guy. I learned a lot about him over the past few years from Jason and Dave. I wasn't like a huge fan myself.
Are they still I was just glancing at some stuff about Todd McFarlane. Is that Spawn movie with Jamie Foxx and Jeremy Renner still supposed to happen?
I don't know.
Well, it's hard to say because every so often a news article comes out where they're still talking about it being in development, and
Right.
Todd McFarlane's very excited about it. And you're like, oh, neat. And then it kind of goes away for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, everything's kind of gone away right now.
I would love to see some money thrown at Spawn and some talented people who understand that world and that character and that comic. I'd like to see them bring it to life. And again, I don't want Todd McFarlane to direct or write it or really get much near the creative process of a movie other than maybe providing concept art.
Did you watch the HBO series, the animated one?
I did. Oh, I love the HBO series.
It was good
Because I used to have the stand up from the movie.
John Leguizamo.
Well, I had he might have been part of the stand up, but that movie. I had the video store stand up from, and it was not a good movie. John Leguizamo was okay.
Yeah,
but I love the Keith David voiced Spawn in the HBO series.
Yes,
really good, really strong animated series.
Yeah, felt like heavy metal a little bit too.
Very much. And again, it represented the comic pretty well.
Do you have, as part of your news, unless you had something else to say about Todd McFarlane?
I don't.
Do you have the Chucky TV series?
No, I passed that by because it was just like an update, but I saw that was in there.
Yeah, it's going to be coming next year. It's going to be on Sci-Fi and USA.
Woo!
But
Is it live action or
it's a live action Chucky TV show with the original creator making it.
I heard Brad Dourif's doing the voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically more of, I think, what they did with Cult of Chucky and all that. I think it's just a
I've never
continuation.
seen any of the Bride of, Cult of.
Oh, really?
No.
They're fun. I mean, they're not great movies, but they're fun movies.
Yeah.
They're very meta.
Yeah.
If you like meta.
Sometimes enjoy.
I really I like the Curse and Cult quite a bit.
Yeah. So now there's 2 Child's Play universes?
Yes. There are 2 Child's Play universes.
2 timelines.
This is the Kelvin.
Are the later films still part of the exact same universe as the first original?
Yeah. All the Don Mancini films are his universe. And then what happened was the crew. You got to understand that in one universe, the Kelvin is destroyed.
All right.
And when the Kelvin is destroyed, you get a different looking Spock and a Chucky that has smooth features and Mark Hamill's voice. And they spell it Berenstain.
I enjoyed the new Child's Play movie.
I loved it.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the remake yet, but I really want to.
It was really fun.
It is really, really good. It's one of those cases where honestly, I like Child's Play okay. I've never been like a huge fan of that series. When I was a kid, even I didn't really think it was scary as a horror movie. I was never scared of dolls. Not that if you are, that's not valid. It's totally valid. But
oh, you're such a dude.
Because you never know, dolls might kill you.
Oh.
The only scary doll I can think of is Talkie Tina from Twilight Zone, because she fucked his shit up. Nobody saw it coming.
But the remake you really liked.
The remake, yeah, I was getting to that.
Good Lord.
That was the bush I was beating around.
Andy, you were saying
The
before
remake's
Freddy
great.
rambled on about his nonsense?
No, I think I was just going to talk about the new Child's Play more. I thought it was really fun. I understand the cult behind the original series. I appreciate the fact that it has gone on for so long and it has the same creators.
Yeah.
And I guess the way that it was kind of taken away from them was not maybe on the up and up. But yeah, I'm just glad. It's cool that they're continuing the original timeline, I guess. But I want to see more from the new stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, you can have both. Why not? We're
Yeah,
a
it doesn't
gluttonous
take
culture,
away.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have like pizzas that are wrapped in burritos and stuff.
Yeah, so we're ready. We're down for anything.
Get it all. Put it all here in my eyes and my mouth and all my sensory receptors. I want everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be covered in it.
A Child's Play TV series, how's that going to work? Is it because I feel like a movie is more than enough to tell the story?
Well,
It is more than enough.
Is like Chucky going to go from like family to family? Is it going to be a new mini movie every time?
I don't know. I know there's a teaser.
Well, Andy,
that's
you know
out there.
what?
You could
You're
watch.
just gonna have to wait and see.
The idea, it says, is to continue the story.
Duh.
And Chucky and other characters are going to be in it. How you like that?
They're gonna interact.
Oh wow! Other characters? Oh my
Here's
god!
the
Is Jennifer
official.
Tilly going to show up?
Yeah, here's the official description. After the old Chucky doll appears on a suburban sale, the idyllic American city plunges into chaos because a series of murders reveals the secrets of this city. This is like someone who doesn't have English as a primary language wrote this, like me. At the same time, the arrival of friends and foes from Chucky's past threatens to uncover the truth about the murders as well as shed light on the demon doll's origins. That clear it up for you?
That's kind of cool. So if we talk about how he got into black magic and stuff, that's kind of interesting.
Oh. Maybe.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Agreed. Yes.
Agreed.
There's a...
All right.
I still haven't seen The Servant. Does anybody else watch that?
Wow, you are just
No.
all over the place today.
I'm just kind of curious if anybody had watched it.
This is Kelley's segment, and you're ruining it.
I know.
Well, it's all of our segment.
I'm trying to
What's
get
The
him to
Servant?
shut up. It's an Apple TV show, Apple Plus show.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It's
'cause
fine.
I don't watch new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only watch old things.
I was just thinking of horror TV because we were talking about Chucky. And then the natural train of thought for
I
me.
do feel like there's a lot of horror TV coming out.
Yeah.
We were just talking about
feel
Lovecraft
there's,
Country.
A lot of horror movies coming onto like VOD that are kind of interesting. Isn't the Rental that just came out?
Right.
Yeah, we were supposed to review that. That screener's just sitting there.
But that's coming out, and then, talking about horror TV, we have this Chucky thing, and then the Lovecraft Country, and there was something else, and another one, and then that one guy did a thing. It doesn't matter, but I just feel like there is a lot of horror TV on our horizon. So just be happy.
There's a shit ton. There's Walking Dead movies happening.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's...
Did you say a Walking Dead movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's
announced that
several in the works.
I had no idea. Like, they're planning on theatrical releases?
Yeah, it's in the middle of it. I think so. At least.
I think so, because wasn't Andrew Lincoln supposed to be in that one?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care too much since I stopped watching, but I know they announced it at maybe last year's Comic-Con or the one before.
I didn't know that. I was watching up until we didn't have AMC anymore, and now I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care enough to go track it down. I just kind of
It's okay.
I'm like, do I miss it? Or would I rather be watching something else? And it kind of falls. As much as I do think it's a good show, I'd rather watch Star Trek.
Yeah.
Spend my time with Star Trek.
As opposed to The Walking
Dead.
The
little time I have left, I want to spend with Star Trek.
I would agree. I mean, I like The Walking Dead for what it was, and I have heard that it kind of came back a little bit in these latter seasons. But
yeah, it did.
I definitely, and it's a great show. I would much rather watch Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean,
for me,
bring some zombies to Star Trek.
Well, they had the Vulcan zombies on Enterprise.
Yeah.
That was brief. Anyway, Andy, yes?
Oh, I was just going to say, for me, Walking Dead told a story, and it's just kind of going on for the sake of going on. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
Are people still watching it?
My mom still loves it. I know that.
Somebody is.
I don't know.
Last season I saw was Negan, and that was 1995, I think.
Yeah, it was that we were still in high school for
1995, for sure.
Just seems like a long time ago.
We were still.
It does. That was the last
too.
episode I watched was the first episode of the season with after Negan, the big, that episode.
Me too. And then I was like, I'm out because this is too brutal.
The juicy meat bash.
it was just, yeah, and I was just like, I don't want to see these people like this now. Like, I don't know how much more abuse and torture I can see like these characters go through without having to question, like, is the survival instinct that strong? I just
certainly,
I don't know.
In Corona times, that is not the entertainment I'm looking for. So I wonder if it comes back. What does it usually come back, like February, October, whatever?
Yeah, it's like watching a documentary now.
I also know, like, I know a lot of people, and normally I would agree with this. A lot of people say that zombies. This is what your normal horror friend who thinks they're like, well, actually, the interesting thing about zombie movies is the human element. It's what's happened. Zombies themselves are boring. Fuck you.
No, they're not boring.
I'm not saying that it's not the human element that makes it interesting, but I feel like they got away from zombies posing more of the threat. And I get it. To these writers, I think that they find the human interaction more interesting, and I know some people find that more interesting. But as a viewer myself, I like zombies, and that's what I'm really tuning in for. And so, like, it's fine to watch them get, like, beaten and abused by other human beings for a while. That's cool and all. But I'd really rather watch them get eaten by zombies and have to escape from zombies more than have them get eaten and raped by human beings.
Yeah, I don't want to watch anybody I don't want to watch people eat and rape each other.
I don't need to watch human cannibals when there's perfectly good undead cannibals wandering all over the place. Listen, I like the whole Terminus subplot, but I'm just saying, it just got to be too much.
Yeah,
what am I even saying anymore?
No, we don't need to be reminded that people suck. We can see it happening by looking out the window right now.
Far too many reminders right now.
That's kind of why I watch zombie movies, like, because it's not regular people. You know what I mean? That's why I watch horror stuff. Like, I can watch horrible things and sort of live that, but it's okay.
But in real life, you'd be like Dr. Fauci says I can't go out and get bit by a zombie. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Fauci created the zombie virus in the first place.
Yeah. Keeping me out of my Applebee's.
Welcome back. Go fuck yourself, Applebee's.
I just saw your text about Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I did see this.
Yeah.
No Pegg.
But I feel like we might have already talked about that a while ago.
If we did,
your memory
it went in one ear and out the other.
No,
for
not
me.
you.
But Truth Seekers.
But like, Nick Frost and Simon Pegg have a show coming on Amazon Prime. It's called Truth Seekers, and it's about paranormal investigators.
That's adorable.
For a second, I was a little worried. I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like a Portals to Possibility thing?"
Yeah.
One of our other projects that involves cryptozoologists and truth seekers is a thing that Mike Chiswick's character says often. And I was like, oh no, they're going to do it way better. And we're going to be like, oops. But it's not exactly. So it looks great.
You don't have to sue.
You're like, it's not exactly
heroes.
the same show that we made, but so it's not the same exact show. I mean, they have millions of dollars.
They're ghosts. Well, I'm just saying, like, what I mean is, like, it would have just been like, oh, well, nobody's going to care about ours now.
Yeah,
they should.
What if when they run out?
Not that many people do anyway. But what?
They run out of episodes of this, and then where are they going to go?
I don't know. They can go to the second season of Portals, which is all there is.
Yep, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you. Nothing's stopping
by the way,
you.
I'll just take this time to say, if you want to go on Spotify, the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Portals to Possibility are available.
Is that the only place you can get it? Is Spotify?
And on pulpular.com. That's pulp with Euler.
You can't get
popular, but popular.
It's not on Apple Podcasts anymore.
No, I don't think it's ever been.
It's fine. Spotify has a perfectly cromulent podcast player just because you don't use it.
No, I'm just saying I don't think it ever got, like, no one ever
posted it there.
It's never been added to iTunes as far as I know.
All right. Portal's Possibility. It's a great show.
Did you guys watch the trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music?
Not yet.
It is so fun. It is such a fun trailer. It made me really excited to watch the movie.
What's the plan with it?
It's going to be out on demand.
It's going to VOD, isn't it?
Both.
Okay.
I think it's going to be both theaters and on demand September 1st.
Are theaters open anywhere? I'm sure that they
I have
are.
no idea.
Drive-ins.
Yeah.
I have not been watching very many trailers lately,
Yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah.
Same thing, Kelley. I haven't been watching trailers because hope is a horrible thing at this time.
Andy, you're a hardcore
it's
theater
like,
goer.
Well, I love going to movies, especially by myself.
This must be terrible.
But it's just hard to watch trailers knowing that you can't watch them in theaters and the fact that they might be pulled again.
No, I get it. And I think maybe that ties into it because I'm like you. I love trailers, too. Usually I'm waiting for trailers to get dropped. I'm like immediately watching them. And there have been several. My son Colin wanted me to watch the trailer for the sequel to Train to Busan, which I can't think of the title of it.
The Peninsula.
Peninsula, I think.
Yeah, Peninsula. And I want
Peninsula.
to, but I'm just kind of like, there've been a bunch, and I think it is like, because I'm like, well, I don't know when this is ever going to come out, and like I don't have that same urgency, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Candyman trailer, I have watched it, but like, I don't know when that's happening.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Candyman trailer before the pandemic started and being so excited for it.
Yeah.
Did you see
It just keeps getting pushed back, and I'm like, what's the point of watching things when I don't know when I'm going to ever see this?
Have you seen the more recent Candyman trailer that is the paper doll animation? That in and of itself is its own thing. Like, it's worth watching just to watch that. It's like, it is bigger and better than like a typical trailer. It doesn't feel like it's just showing clips from the movie. It's its own thing.
Oh, and I hear you. I still I love the art of a trailer. I haven't felt the urgency lately to like jump on them and watch them as soon as it comes out or gets announced. A lot of times, like where I usually am, a lot of times lately I've just been like, I'll get to that eventually.
Well, it takes a nudge for me too usually. Like somebody has to tell me.
You know, Comic-Con's going on, but virtually. But I feel like there haven't been any nothing big or exciting. Because
it feels like no one knows what's happening.
Right.
So
Exactly.
like everything is so tentative. Like I haven't even bothered to look for Godzilla versus Kong.
I know they're filming the new Jurassic Park right now.
Yeah.
Because I know Jeff Goldblum was talking about it somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're doing it, as a bubble. But
a bubber.
Yeah. And I know some places are getting back to some sort of filming, but I just, it's not. They're not. I don't think anybody's really ready to say anything right now. Make big announcements like they normally would. Other than we're no longer doing this thing anymore.
Oh, this is kind of horror related. They released a new trailer for the New Mutants yet again.
Oh yeah.
And that's it's supposed to be like a horror take on the mutants. But that movie's been delayed for like years now. But it was nice to see. I actually did watch that trailer just because I'm an X-Men fan, and it was nice to see some new footage and to see Ileana Rasputin's soul sword. That was cool. That was cool beans.
I remember that the first trailer they had for that, like you said, it was like 2-3 years ago, and it was not very good. I think the initial trailer, but I'd be interested to see the new one.
Yeah, it's nothing really new. It's just a lot of CGI. But if you're for me, I was just interested just because only comic books I used to read were the X-Men and stuff. So it's just exciting to see things that were only in the comics to be put on screen.
There was a movie that just came out on demand with Corbin Burnson, Judd Hirsch.
The Dentist 5?
Did you say Judd Hirsch?
Judd Hirsch, who I just saw him in Uncut Gems. If you haven't seen Uncut Gems, it's fantastic.
Want to.
Lori Petty
Yay!
And Kristen Ann Ferraro.
This is a great cast.
It's a deadly legend. And it's a real estate developer buys an old summer camp to build new homes. However, the property has a dark history that ties to a legend of supernatural worship and human sacrifice.
Woo!
A celebration weekend turns deadly when construction disturbs forbidden ground. Unable to escape, they must fight for survival and destroy the ancient megalith, forever closing the gateway to the dark dimension and the spirits from beyond.
But no Bruce Davison or Doug Jones in this one?
It's shocking, isn't it? Well, Doug Jones is on Discovery. He's busy.
Okay.
I told Amy, I said, this is the first person who has been on a bridge in any of Starfleet that said she was a lovely person and that we had good chemistry. That cannot be said of any other... That cannot be said of any other bridge crew member of any Star Trek series.
Nope.
Yeah.
None of the others liked Amy.
You have a piece. You have a piece of history.
I do.
Yeah.
But that was
history.
What, 10 years ago?
It's been a while.
He'd hate me now.
He would hate you now because you think Doug Jones has finally become jaded.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
After
now
like
he's terrible.
He's finally become jaded Pincus.
He's terrible.
After over 30 years of working in Hollywood.
That would have been a way better joke if I'd not stumbled through it.
Jaded.
No, I got it, Kelley. He still got his Zawa for me.
Thank you.
Jaded Pincus Smith is an entanglement.
Did you say Pincus?
Pincus.
Pincus.
Jaded Pincus Sminkus.
So here's a question I have for you guys. As we were talking through this, it occurred to me. A lot of things that were going to be theatrical or have been released on, VOD and will be for the foreseeable future. This means, can I take these movies and put them into the pool for roulette? Straight to video.
I thought you meant
roulette.
the swimming pool.
Because
I did too. You're going to throw them in the pool?
what if Candyman comes VOD? Then that's a roulette movie, baby.
It's true.
Or is it not in the spirit of the segment?
It's probably not in the spirit of the segment because the idea of straight-to-video Russian roulette is to feature films that otherwise would not have the promotion.
Right. Or to find something
or the
interesting.
money behind them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay for it either.
True.
He doesn't want to pay
if
for
I get
it.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. You don't get shot anymore.
If I get jacked off.
You get jacked off.
Do you know what? I just found out that Tiger Woods is a huge horror novel fan. Is that fucking weird to anyone else?
It is weird.
You want to know who his favorite horror author is, though?
Oh, you told me this the other day.
Is it Dean Koontz?
It's Dean Koontz.
It isn't. Are you serious?
It is Dean Koontz.
That sounds about right.
It's Dean Koontz. He's a Koontz man.
He's a
I
Koontz
guess a
man.
golfer
Woods is a Koontz man.
Woods and Koontz come to TBS.
Do you feel like golfers as a people are edgy and interesting? No. They're quite rounded.
I'm not trying to take away from Dean Koontz. Dean Koontz is a perfectly serviceable writer.
He is very serviceable.
It's just weird for him to be someone's favorite.
He's occasionally very fun.
I think my dad liked Dean Koontz as much as he liked Stephen King, if not more.
Yeah.
Which I always was confounded by. I was like,
Dad,
different
kind of thing. I mean, he is it's like
he's a dad's
Stephen
author.
King for people who, I don't know.
I don't know. You guys are doing a lot of yard work lately.
Yeah. Are you saying Koontz is the closest
you guys have become
thing?
dads.
If there's a chance that Jack Reacher or a submarine is going to turn up in it, it's probably going to happen in a Dean Koontz novel and not a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, that's more. Exactly.
Yeah, like Jack Reacher versus the undead. When will Lee Child and Stephen King collaborate on something with a Jack Reacher, and he could have Jack Reacher
and what's his nuts from
and
Mr. Mercedes?
You'd have to have
Hodges.
Well, he's dead. That character's
Holly.
dead. Holly Gibney and Jack Reacher could team up, and they could bring in a Dean Koontz kind of monster, like the Watchers cult or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking of Servants.
She could annoy the hell out of Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
With like all of her fastidiousness, but like he'd also appreciate her attention to detail.
Yeah, and he's a big guy too, so he could they could beat up a lot because she likes hitting people with sacks of nickels and stuff. That's the dream. That's the literary dream. That's our League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Let's tweet it. Let's tweet it, Stephen King.
We could bring Odd Thomas in there.
Yeah, Odd Thomas. We could. Who else is out there? We can get the guy from American Gods.
We can get Odin in there and maybe one of
Shadow.
One of the superpowered golden retrievers that turn up in Kuntz stuff.
Superpowered golden retrievers.
It's true.
It is true.
Is it?
Yeah.
It learns how to. It has a Scrabble. It can write.
It has a
communicates with Scrabble tiles.
Oh.
Yep.
Now, do you mind, since we don't have much to talk about, I will listen, Watchers, the movie, I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I had no interest because they just went completely off book almost.
It's a good movie, though.
Watchers, the book, also ridiculous, but it has some genuinely scary parts to it. Like, it is like, it's like a Stephen King novel that Stephen King was like, no. This is
no.
This is I didn't do my best.
Do you think it's going to turn out
is too far fetched?
That Dean Koontz is Stephen King? It's just another Richard Bachman. Like all the lessons he learned from being Richard Bachman, he's like, I played my hand a little too loosely. This time I have to keep my cards closer to my chest so people
Wouldn't
don't
that
know.
be something to find out? Well, because what's funny is that there's a character in Watchers, the hitman, who is very similar to the sort of the shop's hitman in Firestarter. Very, very similar character.
I was going to say Watchers reminds me a lot of Firestarter regardless.
It does. But there's some scary shit in that book. I mean, I don't want to take away from him. He's not great.
What if you're searching Google one day and you're looking at stock photos for an ad or something, like you're doing graphic design work and they're like, we need a man eating a hot dog, and you go out and you Google it and you find one, you're like, that looks like Dean Koontz eating that hot dog. And then you dig a little deeper and his name is really Phil Jenkins and he's just like a stock photo model. Yeah. And you're like, oh my God. And then you find receipts where Stephen King bought all these images of him and you're like, wait a minute. And you have like yarn and stuff and you have tacks and you're moving around, you realize that Stephen King and Dean Koontz are the same person.
You have a board. Do you have a bulletin board where you post like little clippings and you print out those stock photos and alter photos and you put them next to each other? And you learn that
when he's living as Koontz, like he eats different foods and stuff too.
You have a map of like everywhere that Dean Koontz has done like a reading at, like in the center of Stephen King's house.
It's just concentric circles
around it and all the little lines.
Koontz is king.
Irrefutable.
King is Koontz. Finkel is Einhorn.
When
they're always next to each other on the shelf.
They are. What? Who's that? What was it? It was Garth Brooks and
Chris Gaines. He's the Chris Gaines of horror novelists.
You know, Chris Gaines. Oh,
I'm having like a deja vu moment, like almost like we've had this exact same conversation.
We probably have at some point.
We probably did last week.
Yeah, we've been on for 14 years, Amy.
You're right.
There's only so much we can talk about.
Very true.
It took Tiger Woods to loosen the lid on this conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
Mr. Woods. Mr. Woods.
Well,
I like how Freddy's trying to find news in real time.
Just put your phone down. Talk to your friends. Kelley's got one more, right?
I'm texting with hot babes.
I've got what?
Do you have one more story?
No.
Oh, fuck that then.
Yeah.
No, I got no more stories.
No more.
Yeah. Any updates on the Stan TV show that's coming or whatever?
Haven't seen
everything is frozen. Everything is like
not
happening anymore.
Yeah, like I said, like you remember like Comic Cons of years past
of yore
where like it just felt like news was just constant when it was happening, and
it was actually a little exhausting the week of San Diego Comic-Con when you were just like, Jesus, I can't watch another trailer, I can't hear about another Mandalorian thing, I can't.
Right.
And now it's just tumbleweeds.
Like, oh my God,
it's that movie Tumbleweeds.
Don't look behind you, Kelley.
Oh my God, I'm terrified. There's somebody behind you. They had the Star Trek panel the other day, and
she said it was shirtless cast.
It is.
Yeah,
it very much is.
She left hers on though, so sorry.
Yeah. What you gonna do?
But yeah, they just really didn't have much to say because I think everything's so paused for the last 6 months. Like they haven't gotten further on getting things together. But anyway, it's just funny.
And it's virtual. It's just everything's weird.
Yeah, we were Mike took care of like doing the press access, which I don't really understand. Like I haven't participated. I should have. I don't know if I forgot to do something or what. But anyways, I think Mike is being good about doing whatever the virtual stuff is. But I just didn't get it. I'm like, well, why do we need press credentials if it's just online anyway? Like, why are they?
They might have given you access like via Zoom
because they're still trying to make money.
Oh, it was probably for interviews. That's probably it. But we don't like doing those, so
I don't.
So who knows? I don't know. It was free. I mean,
we try as hard not to do them as possible.
Very true.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I'm looking at today's like panel lineup, and it's there's a Magic the Gathering panel at noon. If you guys are interested.
Oh,
it's underwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are normal panels. They're just not things I'm interested in. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, all that cool hip news you would get.
Yeah.
He's gone because I think everybody's just in a holding pattern right now. I just really wonder, what does next year look like?
I don't know. We had a good old time at WonderCon, though, huh, Andy?
Last year, right?
Yeah, it was like 84 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like 84 years ago, but that was a good time. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, that was just a year ago, a little over a year ago. That was fun.
Yeah, we ran into Dave Sterling.
Yeah, thank you, patrons, for all that.
He was there. You can't get away from him.
No, that was Halloween 40.
That was Halloween 40. Never mind.
Oh.
I am getting confused about being out west.
But you still can't get away from him.
It was fun to see him because he just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Dave's fun. He's an interesting person.
It's like the call's coming from inside the house. He's knocking at your door probably right now.
Yep. I think they're doing something with his witchcraft movies. Like, you know how he made like, I don't know, 12 of them or something. Some crazy amount.
We have to go through the clamshell VHS cases that we have somewhere in your attic to see what they made.
Yeah. Just look at like if you went to any video store in the 90s, anything that was on that middle shelf that they only had one copy of, there's a good chance Dave was involved with it somehow.
Yeah. Semi-softcore.
Yeah.
But not, because he can't really convince anyone to take their clothes off for too long. He doesn't have that kind of clout or money. Even like people who are just starting out are like, you bought me a pizza for this movie. I'm probably not going to do that.
That sounds good.
I'll take my top off for pizza, especially with Sabaro.
None of us are wearing tops now. The question is,
wearing a shirt?
What would we put a top on for? Is what we should probably be asking right now.
A Klondike bar,
dude. I ate a whole pint of Americone Dream last night.
Shit, yeah, you did.
I tore it up.
Well, I ate a whole pint of Rebel.
I need to switch to Rebel, apparently, right?
Caramel.
Is it like you said? It's like super low carb or something.
Low carb, low cal. Tastes great.
Is it less filling?
You gotta let it like warm up a little bit though.
Because whenever they make Halo Top or any of those kinds of ice cream, it's not ice cream. It is like a frozen block of crystals.
It's cream. No, it's cream.
But it's different. It's harder.
It is harder because there's not all the agents that loosen it up.
Got to have loosening agents.
You let it warm up for like 10 minutes and it's perfect.
It's like the Dean Koontz of ice cream.
Except, well, Dean Koontz is higher in carbs.
He's higher in carbs.
There is a panel today at the virtual Comic-Con called Scary Good TV, a conversation with horror's top showrunners, and they're going to talk with the guy from Channel Zero, lady from Lock and Key, Don Mancini, Greg Nicotero from Creep Show.
What time is it?
And the person in charge of Nosferatu.
What time is the panel?
I heard Lock and Key was garbage.
My mom really liked it.
I liked the first couple episodes, but then execution-wise, in terms of just special effects and storytelling, it wasn't great.
Yeah, I heard they went way far off book too.
Well, also, and then didn't. I thought it was a little. I get why he did it. His explanation kind of made sense, like that he changed the name of the town. It's not Lovecraft.
Oh, really?
Because he didn't want to like pay homage to Lovecraft because what we know about him being such a horrible racist and everything.
Yeah,
which was never a secret. It's in his work, but at the same time, like, aren't we kind of like it's an evil town? I mean, it kind of seems like an evil town. So isn't it okay to name an evil town after like a complicated It's not like he's a superhero character or something named Lovecraft.
Yeah, that to me is. I mean, I'm not saying there obviously are times where you decide where and when to change stuff, but I feel like that was probably not. I mean, it's up to. I mean, if that's what the creator wants to do, fine. Right. But like, it doesn't seem super necessary.
Right. I don't know who would criticize him about that choice other than himself. I think he might have just been.
Right. And if that's what he wants, if he just feels bad about it, right. For sure.
He seems to be like a sensitive person. He's just seems like a really good socially conscious person. So I get where he's coming from, and he probably, obviously, I'm sure he knows better than I do about the situation, but it still struck me as a little strange.
Well, sure, that is, but more egregious, I think, are the changes in character that I read. I haven't even watched it because, I don't need something to be a tit for tat, a tits for tats, exact duplicate of source material. But like, especially with something like Lock and Key, which has specific beats, you know what I mean, and because it is a comic book, it definitely lends itself more to being filmed, I think, than a novel. For me, it's trying to find those places where it's similar that make it an interesting thing for me. And so I'm kind of disappointed that it kind of strays away from the source material because it was already such a visual.
Yeah, everything you needed to do
storytelling
was there.
Yeah,
it's literally it's like it's a storyboarded script. It's there. All you had to do is, and everybody agreed who read it, almost universally. If they liked it, they loved it.
Yeah,
and things worked. You kind of know what your characters are supposed to look like. Again, like all those beats and where that's supposed to happen.
Right, and the dialogue. I mean, again, you still get real depth of character even with those small snippets of internal dialogue and stuff. So like you said, change things is fine, but I feel like there is, like you said, there's a roadmap that didn't seem to get followed as well. Which again, remember the first time they tried to adapt Lock and Key and they released the trailer for it on Fox, and it looked garbage there too. And then I was really excited to hear Netflix was doing it, and now I'm disappointed again.
I feel like Joe Hill's kind of been, his stuff's been, I don't know what I was going to say. Go on, Andy.
That was one of the problems I had with it, because Kelley said it was such a visual graphic novel, comic book, that it wasn't executed very well. It looked cheap, honestly, which is kind of surprising because I think Netflix has the money to do something very, very well. But it didn't. It just looked rushed and cheap.
Did anybody else watch Nosferatu?
No,
I have not watched it yet.
It's pretty good, and that's one where but it's kind of goofy. The Zachary Quinto performance is very comic booky and over the top.
Yeah,
but it works. It feels like those like Mick Garris '90s adaptations, like The Stand, or something, but with a little more of an edge to it.
When Charlie Manx is kind of an over-the-top comic book villain kind of character.
Christmas Land and all that.
Yeah. But I haven't watched it yet. I really like Zach Quinto, so eventually I'll probably make my way around to that. I haven't watched any of the Joe Hill stuff, I don't think. I've never watched Horns.
I haven't watched Horns either.
I haven't watched any of it either. I haven't read Horns or Nosferatu.
Oh, you haven't? They're both great books.
I do love him as an author.
I like Horns probably better than any of... actually,
Horns is my favorite of his stuff, other than the short stories.
Heart-Shaped Box is pretty awesome.
I like that.
You said you liked the movie, Andy?
Yeah, it was really good.
I'd like to watch it. I love Dan Rad.
I think it was kind of like one of Daniel Radcliffe's first movies right after Harry Potter.
You know what I like is that to Kelley, there's Zach Quinto and Dan Radcliffe.
Yeah. Dan and Zach.
He's not.
Buds.
He doesn't care about their SAG name.
Do you call Richie Rich?
Rich.
I call him Rich. Jeff. There's Jeff Morgan, my buddy JDM. Jeff Morgan.
Yep. Scoob Doo.
Jeffy Morgs. Scoob Doob.
You know Kelley and nicknames. He loves nicknames.
Shags.
That's true.
And plus, like, you don't want to use all of that energy saying so many syllables.
Right.
In my show notes, I think for the origins to non-patron listeners who don't know what I'm talking about, I think I call Forrest Whitaker 40 wits.
40 wits.
40 wits.
Sounds like a movie.
Love it.
I will always love you, Kelley.
I love you.
Do you call him
I don't
Don
always know.
Trump?
I don't
Yes.
call him anything.
He
He's
calls
not a
him
per-
late
he's
for
not a
dinner.
person.
He's a
You're
cartoon
right.
person.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Did you say he's a protein person?
No, cartoon person.
He's a cartoon person. He's always been a cartoon person.
You know how Kelley says, like, it's not a movie sometimes? Donald Trump, he's not a person.
He's not a person. You're exactly right.
He's not a person, a woman, a man, a camera, or a TV.
Yeah, you passed, Amy. Good job.
He's not any of those things.
Nope. So cool. Is that the news?
That
That
sounds
is
like the
all the news that's fit to ponder and muse.
Squeeze out of your bottom.
Yeah.
We stretched that out as much as it can go.
Girls and boys, we did what we could.
If you
It's
want to,
tired. It's stressed out too much.
Yeah.
if you want to contact the show, it's crew@notlp.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter as NOTLP, Instagram Night of the Living Podcast. We are on YouTube as NOTLP Crew.
We're all over the place.
We're in your heart,
Yeah.
in your dreams.
And you can support the show
At
at Patreon.
patreon.com/NOTLP.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sure. Cool. What's up next, gang?
Well, we do plan on doing a special episode about the Vast of Night. It's just we haven't had time to watch it just yet.
Andy has watched it, but the rest of us have not. But I want to.
I'm going to watch it again because it was really, really good. That's a spoiler for our coming review, but it was
High
really
praise.
And then, Andy, you want to announce what the next theme is and all that?
good. Oh, sure. Our next theme is called The Shelley Winters of Our Discontent. They are movies starring Shelley Winters because she is an underrated scream queen.
That's right.
Which one are we going with first, you think?
You guys want to do Auntie Roo?
Shell Wince.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
So we'll be kicking things off with Auntie Roo,
I've never even heard of
which
it.
just sounds like something from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Who
Slew Auntie Roo. That's-
slew Auntie Roo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this goes along with as another subgenre of horror called hagsploitation or psychobiddy,
Psycho Biddies.
which is basically crazy old ladies.
Psycho Biddies. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
So it's going to be a fun month, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a good
I'm
time.
psyched.
Better.
Don't threaten me with a good time. So we got, patrons have been writing in to say, hey, I got my shirt and my pin. So,
Yep.
Amy, you're
I didn't
awesome.
lie. I sent them.
You did it. You did it. Let's do it. Any other feedback that you guys have this week? I wasn't very good at organizing myself.
We talk with people on Thursday nights, and we talk about stuff with
Yeah.
our listeners, and then
I'm
true.
feedless.
I'm
stay
feedless. I mean,
connected.
we're all out there living life.
I think, by the way, a Vast of Night, we had said Blayne and Monica had recommended it, but I think Blake might have actually, because I don't think Blayne liked the movie very
You're
much.
a fucking.
I
What,
can't-
every
I-
Blake and Blayne are the same to you?
I know. I get people mixed up because they have B's in their names. And
What about
That's not
Bonnie
your
Bedelia?
Bonnie Bedelia? I used to be in love with Bonnie Bedelia. Salem's Lot era Bonnie Bedelia.
Bobby B.
Less so Die Hard.
Are they the same person to you?
Bonnie B.
Bobby B.
I like
Bobby B.
Bobby Brown and Bonnie Bedelia the same person to you?
I like Bonnie Bedelia.
What about Bobby Bonilla?
Bobby Bonilla's okay.
He's the guy-
He's no Bonnie Bedelia.
Is Bobby Bonilla the guy that's still getting paid and not playing? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
Is Bobby Bonilla still playing baseball?
No,
That
not
can't be.
playing.
No, he played in the 90s, didn't he?
Yeah, he'd be an old man now, right?
Yeah, but there's one player that doesn't. Yes.
Barry Bostwick?
I was right. Because they talk about it on last podcast. Bobby Bonilla still gets paid like $1 million every year by the Mets.
Why?
And he hasn't played in years.
Does it say why?
Because he's that fucking good. He hit so many runs that they're still being tallied. They couldn't even be contained.
Yeah, they're still
in individial games.
Does Bonnie Bedelia also get a check? Runs. She gets a check for making movies, but she doesn't have to make them. Her and Bobby Bonilla are out having burritos together. Hey, Bobby Bonilla, this is Bonnie Bedelia. We still on for burritos at Benny's Burritos in Boston.
Make sure they invite Bobby Brown too.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
We decided to give Millie a middle name.
Bobby Brown.
Our dog's middle name is Bobby. Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown Morris.
I forgot about that.
But I want to add another name, kind of like in a Hispanic tradition. So now she Catholic. Is Millie Bobby Brown Bobby Bonilla Bonnie Bedelia Morris.
Do you think they might meet up with Bill Bellamy at breakfast burritos?
They have breakfast burritos together. We still having breakfast burritos, Bonnie Bedelia. This is no wait. This is Bobby Bonilla. Call me back.
It's Millie Bobby Encyclopedia Brown Bedelia Morris.
Okay. We've made a lot of names today. Mm-hmm. Let's
Bobby Bonilla gets paid $1 million every year by the Mets from 2011 to 2035.
Wow!
Because they fucked up.
He plays baseball. That's another double B.
Is he like?
He doesn't play.
Wait, is he like Milton from The Office?
Yeah.
Barbie Benton.
They forgot to.
Did they move Bobby Bonilla down to the basement?
Mm-hmm. They took away his stapler.
Bobby Bonilla's in the basement
with the bubble buyer.
Bubble bath.
Oh shit!
After they play baseball, they take a bubble bath.
Bubble bath.
Mm-hmm.
Then they burn down the building.
Away to take a bubble bath.
This has gotten real stupid.
I'm gonna burn down the building and take a bubble bath. Bobby Bonilla. Got a lunch date with my friend Bonnie Bedelia at the Benny's Burritos. I'll give you a call back.
All right,
Bobby Bonilla.
Well,
Bedelia.
I hope this was worth your time. What I can say is worth everyone's time is saying hi to our Beelzebubs.
Our Beelzebub.
More bees.
Our Bobby Bonilla. Ernie Perez.
What's your favorite Transformer? Bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
These are all my favorite Transformers.
Alise Kombrinck, who we just saw floating around the background of Kelley's video. I hope he knows that she's in the room.
Yeah, she's my baby bee.
She's a secret. Amanda G.
Yeah.
Cassie and Jeremy Burmeister.
There's a B.
Yeah.
Mark Watts.
You're B-less.
Blake Heath.
You got B.
Lucky.
Which got all this started. Bill Farner.
Oh, Bill. You got all kinds of B.
Tree and Alex McNulty.
Where's your bees?
There's no bees. Iona Goodwin.
I own a great one, but sadly, no bees.
Jeff L.
Jeff, what's your middle name? Bruce.
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 It's Bruce now.
That's another double B.
Emily and Branan. We love you guys.
Branan.
If there are people in this world I want to snuggle, that's two of the people I want to snuggle in the world.
It sounded like Bill Cosby. And it was
Too much
upsetting.
Bill Cosby in there? Yeah, I didn't mean to. You got...
No!
Gotta put a... You drink this. Take a nap.
I'm so sad that I can't do my Cosby anymore because I just discovered it.
I just used a picture of Bill Cosby recently.
Pudding Bops.
Pudding Bops?
Pudding Bops. Adam Ingram.
I'll do it after the show.
Adam, is your middle name Blorn?
Blorn? What? Bill Chandler.
Bill.
The Blorn identity.
Bill. Automobiles. Monica Martinson.
No, there's two M's.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll take that.
M&M.
That's alliteration.
With a real Monica Martinson, please stand up. Blayne Turner.
Oh, as B as it gets.
Dennis Cannaday.
Get a day!
And
That's
Kevin.
two letters after B.
That's
C
true.
and D.
Kevin Korpi.
Kevin.
Hey, more alliteration.
Blendon.
What?
I'm going to make your middle name Blendon.
London from Gravity Falls.
Did I say before that like Kevin Korpi sounds like a legal term? Have I said that to you guys? I think I have.
Filing my writ of Kevin Korpi.
Yeah,
you did.
so rid of Kevin Korpi. I'm going to probably bring that up every week because I won't remember that I pointed it out.
No, we won't.
Because
Time means nothing.
I'm getting to be those Dean Koontz age.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a Koontz age.
Oh, Freddy.
You want to you want to sit on your nicely manicured lawn, just read a Dean Koontz novel before you go in and watch Tiger Woods win the Masters.
I'm gonna like walk into the house and go, "Where's Freddy?"
Do you think there's a sexual act called a Jack Reach Around?
Definitely.
It's when a big man who has a background in the military and now does private investigations jerks you off from behind.
That's so specific.
I know. It's called a Jack Reach Around.
I'm going to be looking out for one of those.
Yeah.
Be looking out.
Ends.
You never know when you're going to fall into a Jack Reach Around.
Yeah. It's going to walk around dark alleys.
Well, today's episode is brought to you by Dean Koontz and the letter B.
I'm Lee Childs. Cease and desist.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn.